Welcome back. 18 minutes after the hour. A growing number of Americans believe there is no way to bridge the gap between the political beliefs of the different spectrums. The latest New York Times Siena poll finds 64% of Americans now believe the political system is unable to overcome the current divisions in order to solve our nation's problems. Just 33% believe it's still possible. Margaret Spellings is joining us now to help us break down these numbers. She was the Education Secretary under President George W. Bush and currently President and CEO of the Bipartisan Policy Center. Good morning.
Good morning.
You were disappointed when you saw the numbers or encouraged in the areas you see where work is needed to be done?
Well, it's really understandable, especially as we sit here in the middle of a government shutdown, how people are frustrated. And this poll was taken shortly after the murder of Charlie Kirk. And I think, obviously, people felt particularly frustrated and angry and annoyed in the aftermath of that. But, we at the BPC get up every day because we believe that really when push comes to shove, the only way that you really solve problems in a long-lasting way is through bipartisanship. And of course, that's going to be true when the government reopens. And so we're sort of half full kind of folks. When you look below these numbers and the reality of what's happening on the Hill, there are really some reasons to be optimistic. We're optimistic because Senator Elizabeth Warren and Senator Tim Scott recently passed through the Senate Banking Committee a unanimous road to housing proposal that really will do a lot to address housing issues that really are chronic all across this country and something that I think all Americans believe is the case.
Oh, Ms. Spellings, I could talk to you for hours. There's so many questions I have. Lawmakers are elected to address problems, but is blaming the other party the easier option? Because it seems, if I can just point a finger, I don't have to do the work, possibly even on myself. Are politicians really the ones who have given up, or rather than the voters who sense that may be the case?
Well, I think it's incumbent on voters like us to expect people to come together and work together. I think mostly people are starving for that. They're frustrated, whatever side of the aisle you're on. You want to be able to go to a national park. You want to be sure that the TSA folks are not going to be so frustrated with not being paid that they will call in sick and on and on. And so I think mostly Americans want their government to work on their behalf. That's obviously what they're paying for and what they've elected them to do. And so I think it's incumbent on us to say, hey, we're about to head into a midterm. Are you willing to work across the aisle to solve problems like housing, like education, like, government efficiency, and on and on?
Ms. Spellings, this poll, as you mentioned, was conducted after the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk and the tensions that followed. Now, your thoughts on the national response to that tragedy?
Well, gosh, it's one of the things that is really raw in our society, and I think, was so tragic, so disheartening. I'm pleased and proud that nearly all elected leaders spoke out against it, as they should. It's a sad commentary of where we are in our nation. Absolutely. But I think it's also a wake-up call for all of us as Americans to really try to be part of the solution, to put ourselves on the field of play, to take the rhetoric down, to do our own bit about trying to understand where the other side is coming from, whether it's in your school community, your church community, and your own family. Try to be open-minded, a good listener, and reflective about our own views.
Margaret Spellings, president of the Bipartisan Policy Center, thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.